What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode number 33 of our Cincinnati Reds franchise. In this one, we're going to be doing the draft, and I'm actually going to show you guys some scouting, some guys that I'm taking a look at, some guys that I'm eyeing, as well as I want to show you guys where we're standing as far as statistics go. So we can see that Dallas Keuchel and Luis Castillo are carrying this pitching staff big time. So Keuchel 7-2. Castillo 8-2, so that's 15-4 between our top two guys. Like that's huge, right? 2-4 for Keuchel, 3-2 for Castillo. DeSclafani not doing too hot though. 5.11 ERA as the number 3 guy. Kendall Graveman pitching very respectably at a 3.7 with a 5.3, and then we've got Brandon Finnegan in the bullpen. He's not the starter. Sal Romano 4-1, but he's got a 4.9, so not what you'd want to see out of Romano or DeSclafani, but you know, you're going to take the good with the bad with those types of pitchers. But really good to see that Brandon Finnegan is progressing, right? So this is a good step forward for him. He is listed as a starter right now as far as the depth chart goes, but he is a relief pitcher, so we do have to consider that. Robert Stevenson having a pretty good year down in AAA. Could be better with the wins-loss, but with a 4.2 and 1.5, this is just what you're going to get out of Robert Stevenson. Amir Garrett showing some signs that he's progressing as well. Tyler Mahle, though, interesting case here. We might have to consider calling him up and possibly pushing one of these guys down. Maybe it's a bullpen guy, I'm not sure. Jared Hughes not doing too hot himself. Zach Weiss, they can't really call him down with a 77 overall. Kyle Crockett still pitching really well, and Leclerc doing well himself. But, Tyler Mahle, 24 years old, is a young dude, 71 overall right now with a B potential. He could take that Sal Romano's job, Maybe if Sal Romano keeps struggling, then that might be something that we might want to look into. Nicolino pitching really well himself. Hunter Green 3.3 with a 1.4. I saw some of his highlights that he had in that Futures game, and he looks really, really good in real life. Chris Rodriguez with a 2.9. So a lot of these guys are still pitching really well, which is really what I wanted to see, especially as we head into draft day, which is going to be in this episode. I wanted to see how our young pitching staff was going to perform. And the big thing for me is if a lot of these young guys were not panning out, then I might want to consider drafting some more pitchers, some more arms. I think that's what we're going to be doing in the draft anyway, is we're going to be selecting a few more arms that we like, but it's not going to solely be based on addressing the pitching staff. It's just not. We're really young there. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. As you guys can see in the next few slides here, you guys are going to notice that positionally we're getting a little bit older. We're kind of teetering towards that side, and that's something that we don't want to let go for too long. And take a look at Michael Lorenzen. 17 saves this season and 21 in a third. His ERA has gone way down. So it's pretty hilarious, right? That's kind of where we saw him. That's kind of where we wanted him to be, and kind of what I expected. That once you get Michael Lorenzen in a position where he's not being utilized every, 2 days, you're going to get into situations where he doesn't have to go more than one inning, right? He's not a middle relief type of option. He's a closer. He's a closer. You want to use him sparingly and just get 3 outs and be done. So his overall is definitely bumping up there, which is a really, really good sign for him. You guys can see Barnhart and Chris Stewart's numbers, pretty solid. Can't complain. Tyler Stevenson, 260. Votto still killing it, guys. 385 so far on the season. 99 contact, too. He's going off. Plus, I mean, look at this. These are all regressing. He's regressing at a 90, and he's still putting up 385. Pavin Smith with a 296. That's very, very good. Scooter, 250. Herrera, 260. Shed Long, still killing it, 307. Diego Palmeiro, one of our free agent signings, is hitting 300. down there in AAA. Lombardozzi, 333. And Emery Tobin, one of our draft picks from last season, 252 with 4 bombs at the AA level. Suarez doing what he does best, 284. Senzel, 87 at bats. Probably got to get him going a little bit more, but he is trending in the right direction. He is going up, so that is a good sign. Peraza, 278. Not a whole lot of juice here. Not a whole lot going on. So the arm is getting better. It's getting better. But we could stand to see a little bit more batting average, some more runs scored. Yeah, I mean, he's having a pretty solid season. You can't fault him for that, but I'd still like to see a little bit more. Kevin Maitan really struggling down in AA with 229. Look at Charlie Culberson. Against left-handed pitching, his overall is spiking. So contact against lefties is +4 now. So that's really, really good. So that's why his overall is ahead of Trammell and Winker. Although both these guys, Culberson and Winker, are doing their parts, right? I mean, look at Winker. Contact against lefties is going up. Contact against righties going up. Power against lefties going up. So he's actually hitting left-handers better this season, which is interesting. Very interesting. Probably because he's not being used all the time against left-handed pitchers. Maybe he's facing one at bat against a reliever. Maybe, here and there, couple hits, couple walks. It all adds up to a better overall rating. So that is the stats for those two guys in the platoon. Look at Thomas Moore, 295. So he is definitely on his way to the major leagues eventually. He's still 18 years old, so we do have to be patient with him a little bit. Alfonso Anaya, 333 at 19 years old. I like to see that with the speed and the contact numbers, with the vision. The vision is pretty solid for being a 19-year-old. That's pretty good to me. Billy Hamilton leading in stolen bases with 20, but he's still hitting 223, which is not too great. Schebler might be the RBI leader. He's got 42. I don't think that's good enough for the home runs, 13. So let's just check that out real quick. Just real quick. Yeah, look at Votto, 385. Love it. Triples, that's what he's leading in, is triples. Home runs, yeah, RBIs, Machado, 52 for the Nationals. Votto with 44, Schebler and Suarez. So it's triples. He's actually leading in triples. That's really, really strange. Really strange. But yeah, so I just wanted to take a look at that, guys. But yeah, Votto's the man. And yet he's still behind Freddie Freeman for most valuable player. How's that? That's a travesty. Like, okay, six runs batted in behind, but he's also 22 points better in batting average. I bet you he's got more walks too. How many walks does Freeman have? 37? 34. Less strikeouts. We probably wouldn't be where we're at without Joey Votto right now. So yeah, that whole jazz can suck it. Freddie Freeman is not the MVP right now. But look at this. Clayton Kershaw is, he's ahead of Luis Castillo and Max Scherzer. I don't think Castillo's going to catch Clayton Kershaw. There's no way. Look at those numbers. 8-0 with a 1-2. 8-2 with a 3-2. 27 less strikeouts. Yeah, Clayton Kershaw is definitely the man. But yeah, guys, we're killing it right now, and there's not much more to say other than we're being led by a lot of really good players on our team, stuff that we addressed in the offseason, and I think the organization is looking pretty good, is looking very, very bright for our future. So let's go ahead and simulate against Carlos Rodon and the White Sox, and then let's get right into draft day. All right, so here we go, guys. First-year player draft. What would you like to do? I'd like to go to the draft. So actually, you know what I didn't do? I didn't go back, and I didn't show you guys some people that I was eyeing. So in this draft screen, I will do that. So let's go ahead and simulate. A lot of good players off the board here. Charlie Cross and Tom Hardy were two guys that I actually really wanted to consider with our number 8 pick. Miguel Borbon, he didn't impress me too much. I mean, you guys can look at the scouting report there. He's a below average hitter currently. His potential is to be an above average hitter. We're not really looking for that. He can play second and third, but he's mostly a defensive guy. He's definitely got some speed, but he's a defensive guy, and I don't think that was worth a top pick. But if we look at like a guy like Thomas Hardy, look at the break, right? Above average to well above average break. Home runs per 9 is pretty good. The fielding is pretty solid, so like comebackers, he's got no problem with them. Stamina, elite level right there. Ks per 9 could stand to get a little bit better, but being 18 years old, that would be a guy that you'd want to consider, especially Charlie Cross too. This is a really good pick for the White Sox. Velocity sits to average to well above average. Control is really good. Stamina is really good. Break, home runs per 9. This is definitely the number one guy. I just really wanted a shot at him. So let's actually see who's up on the board here. So there's a lot of guys that we ended up not being able to scout just due to points and where I allocated in them, everything. Mauricio Crespo, starting pitcher, fastball, cut, circle, slide from Mexico. And remember, just because of the accuracies in the red, I mean, I'm kind of teetering towards not believing in this guy. I know that the ETA is pretty accurate, but if we look at like the control at average, the velocity's average, the best that he could possibly be is be above average, right? And the potential is going to be well above average. So it's not a guy that I'd really want to consider for this pick. And if we look at our roster, so I'm gonna, no, I can't even back up. I can't even look at our roster, can I? No. We don't really need shortstops because we got Kevin Maitan, we got Defoe, who's obviously probably a trading piece at this point. If we end up falling off the planet, falling off the face of the earth here, or we just tank in the season. I know Defoe's pretty good in real life. He's a nice backup kind of guy, nice little flex option at shortstop. We do have Senzel. We got Peraza. We're really young there. We got Maitan. We got some other guys down there. Jose Israel Garcia is pretty good himself. So we're not really needing young shortstops. So even though this guy, Alexi Corona, is pretty good. I mean, look at those power numbers, right? He's a below average contact hitter, but those power numbers are really good. Speed is okay, but he would not be a guy that I would want to take, especially because of the ETA. But this guy, Miguel Arturo, really good player. Fielding, awesome. Arm strength, awesome. Kind of more of a contact guy, not really going to hit for power, but this is the type of guy you could build around. He's a really good defensive player. Could kind of be like an Alcides Escobar type. He's just really good at fielding. That's what he does. He's a specialist there. But like I said, 22 years old, if I'm going to get a shortstop, I'm going to go really, really young. And even though I like Miguel Arturo, I don't think that it makes a whole lot of sense. So the further we look here, though, there's guys that I don't feel comfortable taking, like Kenneth Etheridge, 19 years old, below average contact hitter, power, pretty good, is okay. Speed, I like the speed. But, being an outfielder, I like speedy outfielders, even if you're playing the corners. I like to know that you're able to, like, run a ball down. There's some other guys here that I'm just not comfortable in taking. A lot of outfielders, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid. There was a guy that I was looking at, and I'm not sure where he went to. So let's sort this. Where did he go? He plays third base. Yeah, Ryan Franks. Check this guy out, guys. Above average hitter. Contact. Power numbers pretty solid. Fielding, very, very healthy. Arm strength is a question, though. But he's 18. He's 18, and we have Senzel that could possibly play third if Suarez decides to walk. We got a lot of room to grow with Ryan Franks down in the minor leagues. And quite honestly, we kind of need a third baseman of the future, Ryan Franks might be a guy that can do that. He's a left-handed hitter, though, which is kind of concerning to me because we do have a ton of left-handed batters. But he is from Ohio, so this would kind of be like a dream come true for him. I think I'm ending up going to take him. 18-year-old kid out of high school. Look at the hitter tendencies, guys. He can spread it all over the place. He's a natural born hitter. And I think that I'm going to end up taking Ryan Franks. But if we look at the blue chip prospect here, Tino Rivera from Mexico, 6'3". He does the same things. He can spread it all over the place. The contact right now, right here and right now, well above average. And average against lefties. The power, not so good. The fielding and the arm strength, though, the fielding is okay. The arm strength, you can't teach, right? The speed and the arm strength, you can't teach. And he's got it. Tino Rivera has got that. So, I don't know. I like the fielding. I like the discipline. I like the plate vision. I like the fact that Ryan Franks is a purebred hitter. And I know that you can't teach arm strength, right? It's just got to be given to you naturally. But I feel like with the setup that we have, with the assistant coaches that we have, the director, the farm director, everybody that we've got in this organization right now, I think the bonuses will apply. The attribute bonuses will apply to Ryan Franks. I think this is a very, very good pick. If anything, he could probably play second. He could probably play second base for the future. I don't know. He is 6 feet tall, so he's kind of large. He's kind of big, 211 pounds too. He's more like a third baseman or a first baseman. So I think that that's the route that I'm going to take. Let's just do it. Ryan Franks, welcome aboard to the Cincinnati Reds. And look at who got taken right after. Man, oh man, got a lot of players gone now. Look who went right after us. Tino Rivera. So they like his potential as an 80. They think that Ryan Franks' potential is going to be a 70. I think he's going to be a little bit better than that. But another guy that I was looking at was Derek O'Donnell. So I think the Orioles got a pretty good player here. There's Miguel Arturo to the Twins. Oliver Rodriguez was another outfielder that I actually liked just because of the fielding and the contact. I knew it could get a little bit better. J.J. Conroy was up there. Justin Matsuzaka was up on our board. He's from Japan. He's got all the stuff. Four seam, change, slider, cut, split. So he's going to be pretty good for the Brewers. So we're going to actually have to deal with him later on down the line, very possibly. Reggie Tucker possibly could have taken him in the outfield, but you know we do have some outfielders that we can kind of wait on outfield a little bit. But I did want to address third base right then and there. So we can see that there wasn't very many other guys that I was really interested in. But look at this. 60 potential, 65 potential. Ugh. Yikes. Let's go to our next pick here. Okay, so who we got? Sort the column. Yeah. Look at this guy. So, remember we were talking about Crespo? Kind of fell off a little bit. This is interesting. We need somebody that can actually throw hard. I mean, we got Hunter Green. But it is kind of concerning that one of our top picks at pitching last season with Jared Ambrose and Ray Villalobos, they're not going to blow you away, right? So that is kind of concerning. But Kenneth Etheridge, he's definitely got the potential to become a really good hitter. He seems like a project type of player. We do need to get younger in the outfield. And real quick, if we look at the outfielders right now, we've got Trammell, who's listed as a left fielder, but he's probably going to be a center fielder for us once Billy Hamilton walks. And then we've also got Thomas Moore, who's coming up. Right, so we're pretty young there still. Jesse Winker, 25, he can play till he's 30. So we're not like an immediate need for that. But when you look at the other outfielders that we have, like especially in right field, we're not too young. Center field, we're not too young either. So I think I'm going to end up going with Roger Wimberly just because of the pure potential of what he can be. You know, the power numbers are not going to be there, but a guy like this who can field a little bit, he's got the potential to be a really good hitter for us, top of the order type of guy. I think I like my chances here. Let's go with Roger Wimberly. I think overall we've done pretty solid. Right now it's just a guessing game at this point. Unless we wanted to keep going pitching, we could do that. We could technically do that. We need somebody with some velocity. That's what we need. Matt Erb. 5'11". I'm gonna pass. Ooh, here we go. David Mills. This is a left-hander, 6'5", above average fastball for velocity. Control is pretty solid. Break is elite. Sinker pitcher. He's a junk pitcher, pretty much. David Mills. I like David Mills. Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, we were talking about this guy, Kenneth Etheridge. He can play the corners. Can be a good hitter down the road. Like I said, he's kind of a project. We could also go with Guillermo Almanzar. Not quite the same hitter. Speed, reaction, so he's a little bit better of a fielder. He is 5'7", so he's kind of a tiny guy. There's Reggie Wilkerson, who can also play first base. He's 6'4". Contact hitter. Shows some pretty good power. Not very fast whatsoever. So he's probably a defensive liability. He's probably a first baseman, which honestly I'm not like... Oh, that might be a good pick actually, because we do have some older guys here, Tommy Joseph and DJ Peterson. He's 23 years old though. That's what's tough. You can find a lot of guys to play first base. It's really hard to find athletes. So I think we're going to go with Kenneth Etheridge to play outfield. I kind of like this guy too, guys. Kevin Ferris. Cut, change, slide, curve, sink. Velocity is pretty good too. The break, very good. I think I'm going to take this guy just because he sounds like he could really pan out. He is 23 years old though, so he's a little bit on the older side, but it's worth a shot. This guy actually sounds pretty good too. Brady Klein. Pretty standard right-handed pitcher, 19 years old, so very, very young still. The break, I like the break where that sits. Obviously, elite level. Home runs per 9, pretty good. Velocity could reach well above average. And then the control is just average. So he's an average pitcher. But I think that he definitely has a lot of potential to grow into a solid one. So let's just take Brady Klein as well. All right, so now it's time to see where we landed with our guys and just take a look and see how we did. So, ooh, Ryan Franks. Nice. Nice. So just like we scouted, he does have to work on the arm a little bit, but the contact numbers are pretty good for an 18-year-old. This guy's going to be solid, boys. 72 power, 66 power, 70 vision, fielding very, very good. Yeah, dude, Ryan Franks. I'm actually pretty stoked about this. Third baseman of the future. Here we go. Roger Wimberly. Nice, nice. He can field. He's not too quick. We can work on that though. Contact numbers pretty good. Power, not so much. So like we thought, he's the top of the order type of guy. Mauricio Crespo, 84 potential. So he's actually our highest potential rated pitcher, a player in this entire draft. The David Mills pick kind of sucked, but I mean the 99 velocity, yeah, I like that. The break is a 71 right now. So dude, guys, a lot of these guys right now were really young, 19, 20. We're really going in on developmental type of players, which I think is a good thing because this team, for this Reds team, is showcasing that we're in win now mode. And, we can afford to have a lot of these guys within our organization to kind of build them into our mold and what we want them to be. The K per 9, though, for both these guys, got to get up. Velocity for Crespo is okay. It should be a little bit better, though. The hits per 9, not too good for these dudes. Walks per 9 for Crespo, so he's a control guy. Mills is kind of a fireballer. Kenneth Etheridge, okay. All right, well, he's a 60 overall right now, but look at Mills, 66 overall, 62, 69 overall for Wimberly. I didn't even look at this. 73 overall right now for Ryan Franks. He could come in and he could play today. That's how good he is. That's nuts. Kevin Ferris, he's pretty solid. Ks per 9 got to go up. Hits per 9 got to go up too. Brady Klein, kind of the same deal, but I like his velocity. So let me know what you guys think about our draft. I think that it's not as good as last year's. It's kind of why I'm sitting here thinking, and I don't sound too excited about it, but the more that I look at it, I really do like it. I mean, Ryan Franks at 18 years old, 73. Wimberly, 69 at 18 years old, 62, 66, 60, 63. Nobody's in the 50s for us. And if we just look at some of our divisional rivals, we got Matsuzaka, who was on the board. We could have taken him with a 90 potential. So he's a 66 right now. We got 51s all over the place, 67 relief pitchers. Yeah, 75 for Mauricio Batista. I mean, Brewers had a pretty solid draft. Cubs, not so much. 249s right here. Look at this. 71 for Almanzar. Dang it. Oh, look at the power numbers for Almanzar. 66. I was just making fun of him because he's so tiny. He's like a little Altuve out there in the outfield. Contact numbers got to get up, though, in order to be that. But, yeah, I think we did pretty good. I want to see them next season down in the minor leagues and see how they do. But I think all things considered, looking at some of the guys that we could have taken, Bermudez might have been really good for us, too. I think we had a pretty good draft compared to everybody else. JJ Conroy, 78 potential, 57 right now. Like, look at these. Look at some of these guys' draft here. A lot of 60s. Just a couple 90s, like Tino Rivera. Oh, that hurts. Ah, that hurts. That's kind of like last season. We did the same thing, or I did the same thing. The arm for Tino Rivera, 82, contact 76. The power numbers are really not there though, but potential 94, and we went with Franks, who is he's just a hitter. He's just a hitter. Got to work on the defense. Only at 75 potential though, versus Tino, who's got a 94. So that one kind of hurts a little bit, but I think we did pretty good. What? Robert Rudd, he was down there. Ouch. 87 potential, 73 right now. That sucks. Derek O'Donnell, 59, 76. There's another guy I was looking at. Ooh, this would have been a good pick too. Barry Matthews, 82 speed. Andy Hammond, he was up on the board for us. That would have kind of solidified our catching. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. But, you know, he's the same age as Tyler Stevenson, and Stevenson's a lot better. So it doesn't really do a whole lot. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I'm just going to keep checking these guys out. Charlie Cross, 73, right there. Saw him go number 1 overall. And in case you guys were wondering, the rival Indians didn't have too much of a good draft either. So yeah, so that is going to be this episode. I don't think I told you guys I was going to have any gameplay, but we're going to have gameplay in the next one. So we'll do that for episode number 34. And I think we are going to go take on the New York Mets, as we're going to watch Kendall Graveman take on Thomas Szapucki against the Mets in Citi Field. I was thinking about showing DeSclafani, but you guys have seen DeSclafani a lot. I was thinking about maybe Sal Romano against Noah Syndergaard, but you know, with the way that Romano's been pitching, Syndergaard might be a bad matchup for that. So I'd rather show Kendall Graveman to see if he can keep his little hot streak going against the New York Mets. And just for one last moment, take a look at the draft, guys. Who are you most impressed with? Who are you most excited about seeing down in the minor leagues to see them progress? I can tell you for my own personal opinion, who I'm most excited for as like the dark horse here is probably Kevin Ferris. But the guy that I'm actually really excited about is Ryan Franks. I really want to see how this guy does. You could probably argue that you want to see how Wimberly does, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this guy does, because you know, we're not going to miss a beat if Suarez decides to leave. Senzel takes the job at short. I mean, we need third baseman. You guys can see it right there. I mean, Mitch Ney and Van Meter are two other options other than Senzel and Suarez. And then even when you look at second base, you know, we've still got a bunch of guys here that can play third as well, like Blandino, who's on the older side. Lombardozzi's 30. Like, it made sense. It made a lot of sense to address third base, and I think that Kyle Franks is going to be a good one for us. So let me know what you guys think. That is going to be it for this episode. Wellington, it's time to wake up. Thank you, sir. You just hit 2 home runs. Why are you sleepy? Get on tops of it. Oh. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Leave a like if you like this thing, and if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that little red button or the logo in the bottom right-hand corner, and I will see you guys in the next one. As always, peace.